You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Put your wallets away. This is episode 51 of the Soul Forge podcast.
Welcome to the Soul Forge, a place of silent mystery, quiet contemplation, and outright mayhem. Join your host, Sean Vanderloo, as he guides you through the adventures of living. Together, we'll talk about life and love, sex and dating, joy and heartache, memories and loss, and so much more. Don't worry, it's not nearly as pretentious as it sounds. Get ready for life, the universe, and everything on the Soul Forge.
Hey everyone, this is your host Sean Vanderloo, back with you for another exciting episode of the Soul Forge. This week, my divorce became official, and so I thought, what better way to celebrate than to have a conversation about marriage and divorce. To have this conversation, I enlisted my good friend Tracy, who you will remember from episode 46, and I'm going to go ahead and play that conversation for you right now. I'm not going to break into that conversation with a trailer or promo for another podcast on the ESO network. I'm going to play the trailer first, and then we'll just jump right into that episode. So here we go.
This week on Myopia Defend Your Childhood. Myopia Defend Your Childhood is so named because I believe we are short-sighted on the things we watched as kids. So every week we watch a movie that one of the panelists grew up watching and see if they hold up, from comedy to cartoons or to action. And for this season, the last Thursday of each month, we're doing a TV show in our Myopia Mornings segments. We watch Saturday morning cartoons and afternoon classics. So find us on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. How will you stand when we put your past on trial? Myopia Defend Your Childhood is a member of the ESO Network and produced by Dude Letter Podcasting.
Hey everybody, it's another episode of your favorite podcast, The Soul Forge. I'm here with my good friend Tracy, who you may remember from episode 46. How are you today, Tracy?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm excellent. We're here to talk about divorce.
Yes.
And why are we doing this? Well, this week, my divorce went through.
Fantastic, maybe? Yeah?
Your laughter indicates that you're not quite sure how to react.
Well, some people have mixed feelings about divorce in general, and definitely their own divorce. Some people are happy or upset or whatever. It can be mixed feelings.
It can be, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I will we'll discuss this a little bit. You have also gone through a divorce?
I have gone through a divorce, yeah. My divorce was final about 2.5 years ago.
And you were married for how long?
12 years.
Okay, 12
Yeah.
years, and 2 years divorced.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And how was that? Was it earth-shattering? Was it about time? Was it a little bit of a mixture?
I think because I was the one who initiated the divorce, that it was a little, or I should even a lot easier. I applied for divorce, and we'll talk about this more later, to get remarried. So I think that it was more of a good thing for me. Mm-hmm. That being said, though, when things, the whole process of it, it was still a little difficult at times because you know that person so well, you've been so close for so many years. It is still...
It's hard.
Yeah, it is.
So the divorce happened a long time after the breakup of the relationship, or...
1.5 or 2 years after, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, as for me, when I was a young kid, and I thought about getting married, not that I did much as a young kid, but, when people would bring it up, I thought, okay, well, my mom had 2 divorces and 3 marriages,
Okay.
and I was like, I don't want that for me.
Right.
So I thought, okay, if I get married, it's going to be to the right person, and it's going to be forever.
Yes,
and,
of course.
And I bet everybody thinks that, right?
I think they do, yeah. Otherwise, you wouldn't get married, I think.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But I was really adamant about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with Bishop's mom for almost 9 years. And we were engaged for 5 of those years.
Okay.
But we never got married. We were going to go get married in Vegas.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we're going to combine it with the Las Vegas Star Trek convention to make it
Ooh.
a whole honeymoon, or maybe it was the San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay.
We hadn't 100% decided, but we never did, and the relationship broke up. And then I got together with Bridget, and we
Yes.
were married within 6 months.
Right. It was quick.
It was quick. She asked me.
Nice.
Mhm.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it felt right.
Yeah.
Like I'd never had a connection with somebody like that before.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, this has got to be the real thing. And of course, everybody told me, no, it's not. Don't do it. Of course, do I ever listen to anyone's advice?
I don't think so. I don't know for sure.
I listen to it.
Right.
Do I follow it?
Different things, right?
Probably not. For the
Okay.
most part, not usually.
Well, you have to make your own decisions. You're a grown man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you're grown up, but you're a grown man.
Right. Yes. We'll go with that.
Okay.
So yeah. So anyway, I thought, okay, let's do it. And so we were supposed to get married in, what was it? It was supposed to be the following July.
Okay.
Okay. But then she says, you know what? Let's do it in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's quick.
It was quick. So originally we would have gotten married a year after we got together.
Mm-hmm.
But this time it was 6 months because we got married in November instead of July.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah, it was a rush job.
Yeah.
We did it in our backyard.
Which is great. Still great.
Yeah, we had our parents up. It was nice.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fine. And then it lasted 2.5 to 3 years
Mm-hmm.
before it imploded.
Okay.
And why did it implode, blow up? I don't know.
I don't know either.
It just kind of fell apart.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we drifted. And I guess when my mom passed, my communication skills were lacking.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of it. The wife there has all kinds of other issues, which I won't get into on this episode.
Okay.
But maybe she will get a special episode of her own one day.
Maybe. Okay.
But-
Episode, I don't know,
Something.
68.
Sure. Why not? We could do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Okay.
But needless to say, the relationship broke up, and that was, well, what are we at right now? We're at the end of May 2018.
Mm-hmm.
We got married November 2012, split up in February of 2015,
Okay.
and I moved out May 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So about 3 months ago, maybe, my
Okay.
uncle,
Yep.
the episode I did on the hoarder,
Mhm.
who died in the fire, had left all kinds of unfinished paperwork.
Oh,
Yeah, and so that prompted me to think, well, maybe I should get my crap in order here,
right.
because I had the opinion that, okay, we're split up and we're not likely to get back together, but I don't believe in divorce.
Okay.
The only way the relationship, or not the relationship, but the marriage is going to be over is if one of us dies, and then one of us is a widower.
Okay.
But I didn't want,
Interesting.
I didn't want to kill her. Well,
That's really
okay, well, maybe I did at times, but I wasn't going to kill her.
good. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
No
just,
plan.
no plan to
Okay,
kill her.
good.
So, yeah. So, what was I saying? Let me think here.
You were saying the reason I think that you.
Yes, so no divorce.
Right.
I didn't want to do that, and it would have to be a death.
Right.
And so the uncle died, and I was like, all right, enough of this. I need to get my stuff in order here. So I was talking to one of the ladies on my route
Okay.
who happens to work for a lawyer, and I was asking her, how do you go about getting a divorce and stuff? And she told me,
Yeah.
and so she set it up for me.
Oh, nice.
And it's been a multi-step process,
For sure.
which I didn't realize.
Yeah, it is.
You do the initial paperwork and sign your name and the dates and where you live and all this stuff, and she sends that off to whoever, and then
Yep.
you wait about 30 days or
I
something.
think it's 30 days. Yeah.
I think that's what it was, and then after the 30 days, she sent the paperwork to the ex, and then we had to get her to sign something.
Did she know that that was coming?
Yes, we had
Okay.
discussed it. We were supposed to pay for it together.
Okay.
But she has not given me any of the cash money, so I'm just paying for it myself
Okay.
because I need to have it over with.
Closure.
Closure, yeah. There's no sense dragging it on. And so now this week here is the official date of the divorce being final.
So is there a celebration planned?
You know what? You're not the only one who's asked me that. Are we going to have a party?
Are we gonna have a party?
Are we going to have a party? I hadn't thought of it.
Okay.
No specific plans too,
Okay.
because the official date is on a Monday. So if it was on a Friday, sure, we'd be partying like it's 1999, you know.
Right.
But maybe.
Okay. Is it a celebration, or is it kind of hard? Like, are you feeling the difficulty of, and maybe some emotion?
Surprisingly, I'm not.
Okay.
For the first 6 months to a year after the end of the relationship, I felt a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
And even within the last 3 years, because it's been 3 years, off and on, I'll miss her and what we had, or what I thought we had, or imagined we had.
Okay.
Whether it was real or not, I don't know.
Well, it was real to you.
It was real to me, and that's what matters, and
Yep.
the way I felt.
Yep.
So I miss it sometimes still, a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Like, not like I did at the beginning, but just what I imagined that we may have had.
Right.
So that's sad that that's gone. But no, when I think about it being official, I'm surprisingly okay.
That's good, though. I think that's a good sign that you're obviously doing this for the right reasons and you're in the right place to do this, not doing it because other people are telling you to or because it's been a certain amount of time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was content to just leave it forever. But
Right.
unfinished paperwork, if I happen to move out of town, then how do I get a hold of her? And,
Yeah.
you know, it's just too complicated.
And the longer you wait, it does get more complicated because, like, from what I remember, you have to have the name of the place where you got married and the closest court or something, or I don't remember.
Something
There's
like that.
something like that where you have to name different things, and I have a terrible memory, so, you know, if I had waited 20 years or something, I would never remember that stuff.
Well,
so,
no.
Yeah.
That's right.
I would have had to do all the research.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had to order a replacement copy of the marriage certificate.
Yeah, as did I, which felt really weird to get your marriage certificate to get a divorce.
Exactly, because I asked her, and I remember when I left the house, she had all the paperwork, and I remember seeing the marriage certificate, and so I asked her for it, and she gave me like the marriage certificate, but not the license, not the certificate.
Okay,
She
yeah.
gave me something that
Yeah.
it wasn't right anyway, and she said,
It wasn't what you needed.
exactly, and she couldn't find the other thing, so I'm like, nah, I just ordered it myself. It was only $15.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it wasn't horrible. So the whole thing ended up costing me less than $600.
Nice.
So-
That's not too bad. You got a pretty good deal, I think.
I did, because most people were quoting around 15.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we did all the paperwork ourselves. So I drove to the courthouse in Cochrane
an hour away.
twice. Yeah, well, because you have to do the first round of paperwork,
Okay.
and then you have to, like you said, wait the 30 days, and then do the second round of paperwork. So I did it all myself and drove there twice, and it was kind of tricky because they give you the forms to fill out,
Okay.
and it's not as easy as you would think.
No, it's really not.
Because you have to have this signed by this person, signed by that person, and we had gone up to City Hall here in Timmins and gotten somebody to sign, you know, just saying that he witnessed our signatures on that paper. I forgot what it was, but it ended up that we had done it wrong, and so we paid whatever money we paid him to do that for nothing.
Oh boy, waste of time, waste of money.
But anyhow, it obviously all worked out in the end. But yeah, it's tricky doing it on your own, and I called so many times to the courthouse in Cochrane about, you know, different questions and whatnot. You wouldn't think it'd be that complicated, but it is. So.
Well, that's right.
That's why they have lawyers to do it, I guess.
Exactly. And when she offered to do it for me, I was like, you know what?
For sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do that. And since I deliver to her office, I see her almost every day
Very
anyway.
convenient.
So it was convenient. And she's a friend of mine anyway, so it all worked out well.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So that was okay. And it's surprisingly, I guess the biggest thing of all is that I was so adamant about not ever getting a divorce because I didn't want that on my record, you know, this imaginary clean slate record that exists in the cloud or something. But there it is. I was afraid that it would make me less of a person. Or
And how do you feel now?
it's no big deal.
Okay.
It was a mistake.
Yeah.
It was something that we did. We got married. We probably shouldn't have. We probably should have waited longer. We didn't.
So does going through this process now make you feel any different about your mom having been divorced twice and married 3 times?
I think she got married too quick.
Okay.
Maybe didn't think it through properly.
Okay.
Maybe she just wanted to be loved. And she felt that if she got married, it would be a more secure, kind of stable thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she didn't pick the right people. So it happens. Nobody's perfect. It doesn't make us less of a human or
Definitely not.
or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Her experience was her own, so.
Well, that's right. Yeah. And then I think of my 2 brothers, and the middle brother, he's been married. Well, he got married the same year we did.
Okay.
Actually, 3 months before, and maybe that's why
Perhaps.
she wanted to get married, because your brother got married, so we should get married too. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know either, but I can see that happening because especially women, marriage is such a thing that they think about throughout their lives, I think, and it is a security thing, but it's also planning a wedding is fun and getting everybody together is exciting.
Well, that's right.
Stuff, so.
Yeah, it was fun. It was nice to do. Do I regret it? I don't know. Maybe because of the way it turned out. I should have thought it through more, but it felt right at the time. And that's all you can do. You can only go off your feelings at the time, right? So.
Absolutely. As far as myself is concerned, I'll give a little. I'm going to back up a little.
Sure.
You gave your story, so I'm just going to give a much shorter version. I met my ex-husband in high school.
Okay.
We were teenagers when we met, and had a child young. Ended up getting married, and then had 2 more children. And things just kind of, there was some I was going through some changes through work and the friends that I had and hung out with and stuff like that. We did, and like you said, you kind of grow apart and whatnot. So that's when I talked to him about it, and I don't think he was very happy. I don't think he's still very happy about the whole thing when he thinks. I'm not really sure. But
it's not something you discuss with them very often.
Never.
No.
No.
Right.
No, I don't. Call him up and say so. Anyway.
Are you feeling okay about the divorce? Is it okay that we went through that?
Right. Yeah, I haven't done that.
No, I can't imagine.
I don't think I ever will. But yeah, so that was our story, and we were together. I think it was 18 years altogether. It was close to that.
Married for 12 and together for 18.
Right. It was a while.
A big chunk of your life.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think I was 16 when we met.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So when you felt the oncoming of the breakup, was it devastating, or did it feel like it was time, or something else?
I think there had been different points in the marriage where I kind of questioned things, and then things got better, or whatever. And I've never told anybody that, so this.
That's what the Soul Forge is all
right.
about.
I don't think anybody that listens to this really knows me, so it doesn't matter. But
No, that's right. And we're not using your last name.
No.
So it's all good.
Anyhow, it doesn't matter. But yeah, there were different points in the marriage where I wasn't sure about things. And like I said, things would get better and things would feel better. And I do attribute a lot of it now in retrospect to my own behavior, I guess.
Okay.
My own lack of being able to deal with my emotions appropriately or in a positive way. But again, that's in retrospect. That was not, I didn't have that feeling at the time.
Because when you're going through it, you can't see everything around you.
Exactly. And I've gone through some, emotional coaching and things like that. So it's definitely given me a different perspective, not only on my life now, but my life then. So anyhow, so we split up, and he moved out of the house, and a year later I met a man who's now my husband.
Wow. So a year later.
Yeah.
That's cool.
A year later.
And do you have any misgivings about getting remarried?
Absolutely. When I got divorced, or separated actually, I said to myself and to anybody who asked me, I'm not going to get married again. And to be honest, I'm not sure what changed my mind. I don't know if it was just my affection for him or what exactly, but obviously I did. So, yeah. So getting remarried was fun.
Good.
It was, yeah.
Yes. And you asked him.
I did, yes.
What was his reaction to being asked?
he obviously said yes.
Well, of course. Was he surprised?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was kind of a whim thing. It wasn't a planned proposal. We had talked about getting married, and he had said that there were different things that he was thinking of, ways to propose and whatever. And I didn't know when he would do it or if he would do it or whatever. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do it myself because I feel this way.
Yeah.
I want to marry this man, so I'm going to ask him.
And you did.
And I did.
Had he ever been married before?
Yes. He had also been married for, I think it was about 4 years.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And he had no misgivings about getting remarried?
Obviously not now, but when he said the same thing, that he didn't want to get married again. Just because I can't speak for him. I can't say why, I guess. Yeah. But we both said that when we first got together, we weren't going to get married, and then as the relationship progressed, we both changed our minds.
For me, I'd always said one and done. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. I'm never getting remarried again. Mm-hmm. And when you enter into a relationship with a person that you tell that to, they don't necessarily approve that. Or they think they can change your mind.
Right.
Or I don't even know what they think.
Yeah.
So that's where I am right now. I'm not in looking to get remarried phase.
Okay.
Maybe that's because, well, it's just official this week here, so maybe with time and perspective like you've had.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe not. Who's to say what the future holds?
Well, that's right. Can't predict.
Definitely not. Yeah, so if it's okay with you, I just want to touch on not just getting remarried, but getting into a new relationship.
Yeah, tell me.
In respect to family. Family was kind of tricky and still remains tricky for me.
Okay, how so?
Obviously, as I mentioned, I was with my ex-husband for a number of years, and my family became quite close to him.
Okay.
My parents in particular. And still to this day remain fairly close, which...
Because he is the father of their grandchildren.
Absolutely. In theory, I probably shouldn't have an issue with it because of that. Right. But yet still I do.
Because this ex-person of yours has a relationship with your parents.
Right.
And do your parents say, I wish you were still with so-and-so?
No, they don't, thank goodness, because I think I would have a really hard time with that. But they don't make an effort with my current husband like they did with my ex. Right. Or even like they still do with my ex.
Because that's their grandchildren's dad.
Yeah.
Right. And there's this new guy, and do they have the attitude, oh, who knows how long this one will last? Or do you get none of that?
I don't get that to my face.
Okay.
I would guess that there's quite a bit of that happening
behind the scenes.
Right. Yeah.
But you don't know.
But I don't know. I can speculate all I want, but I don't know what's being said when I'm not in the room.
Of course. Of course. And how did your kids take the new relationship? Were they okay with it? Was it difficult?
I wouldn't say they were okay with it.
Oh boy, okay.
At the time, I had a teenage daughter and a preteen son, and then another younger daughter. So obviously the teenage daughter did not take it very well. Right. Now she's okay though.
Oh, good.
She's. I mean, obviously we've been together for 4 years. So she's good with it. And my other kids don't really seem to have an issue anymore either. Good. It was a little tricky at first, the first meeting and whatnot. My oldest did not want to meet him at all.
I understand that.
And how it ended up happening actually was that it was a weekend that she was with her dad, and she needed to come to the house to get something. And my husband was here with his son, who was 2 at the time. And I think the fact that his son was here was almost like an icebreaker.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because she loves children.
Perfect.
So she started talking to him and, oh, he's so cute and whatnot. And so it then made a little bit of chit-chat with my husband. So that kind of made it a bit easier for her, but still there were some issues,
Sure.
as can be expected, and being in a blended family also has its issues, but I think that's probably for a whole other episode.
Yeah, that would be an entire other episode.
Yes.
Because when I married my now ex, she also had 3 children.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll talk about that in
Okay.
another future
All right,
episode,
sounds good.
because that's a whole other topic that could go on for another half an
Right,
hour or two.
right.
So
Definitely. But yeah, things are pretty good now. Like I said, we've been together for 4 years, so everybody's pretty much adjusted.
good.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, I think so anyway.
So you're living proof that there's hope for the future. There's life after divorce.
There is, I think, what month are we?
We are at the
6th
very
month?
end of May.
5th month. So we've only been married like 5 months.
Oh, that's right, because you got married, was it New Year's Eve?
It was December 30th.
The 30th,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we've now completed 5 months.
Right. So it'll be 5 months on Wednesday.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So far so good?
Yeah. So far so good.
Excellent.
Yeah. Very, very happy. Obviously, typical relationship kind of stuff. But
Well, sure, we all have that.
I think without that, there would, something not quite right or honest, maybe.
Yeah, it's all about the honesty, and that's what it is. You have to be honest with yourself, because you could make a bad marriage keep going, but why
Yeah.
bother?
Yeah.
Sometimes divorce is the best option, even though it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta think about your own happiness. And
Yeah, you do, and that's what I had to do. I had to file for my divorce because I didn't want to just keep dragging it on and keep calling her my wife, even though we hadn't been together in years.
Right.
And she's with some dude, and that's where I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay.
So yeah, so one and done is what I thought, and now I don't know what's going to happen. But life is an adventure.
Definitely.
So just have to see where it goes.
Yeah. See what awaits.
Exactly. Is there anything else that you think anybody should know about getting married again or divorce? Or that pretty much sums it up, doesn't it?
I think so.
All
For
right.
now, anyway.
For now, until our next episode.
Right.
All right. Well, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Wasn't that fantastic? Did you learn a lot? Tracy always gives me lots to think about, so that's why I have her on the podcast, because she's a great conversationalist. She knows how to get to the heart of the issue. So I'm sure she'll be back. Looking forward to that when that happens. So I hope you enjoyed the discussion. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, advice, or topic suggestions, you can email the podcast, soulforgepodcast@gmail.com. Remember, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Darth Vaderloo. The podcast is on Twitter at SoulForgePod. If you're bored and looking for something to do, join the Facebook page where I post a lot of inspirational quotes and fun stuff. And don't forget the YouTube channel that you can subscribe to and listen to these episodes on your computer while you're doing something else. Just look up my name, Sean Vanderloo. Subscribe, and there you go. So we'll talk to you again next week. The Forge of Souls always has the fire burning, keeping that forge going. The flames are hot. The topics are always juicy. So thanks for coming by. And remember, sunsets are proof that endings can be beautiful. This has been another episode of the Soul Forge Podcast. Contact the show by emailing soulforgepodcast@gmail.com or by tweeting soulforgepod on Twitter. Visit us at soulforgepodcast.com, and remember, the best way to show your support is by leaving a 5-star review in the iTunes Store. And, if you would, please check us out and like us on Facebook. The Soul Forge Podcast was written, produced, scored, edited, engineered, and directed by Sean Vanderloo. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Darth Vaderloo. For more great content, you can listen to my other podcast, The Rusted Robot. Thanks for stopping by the Forge. We'll keep the fires lit until your next visit.
I could do this all day.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic Store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.